What is going on? Blossom is back, and let me take the hoodie off. Welcome back to another episode of what you can get from that pack series. Today I'm recording it in advance, and I might even post this in advance by a couple hours, but it's time for you guys to get ready for the finals. I mean, it's a bit late for me to say that actually. If you wanted to get ready for the finals, I would have said, I would have recommended to get ready maybe a week ago, but if you haven't been ready, it's time to get ready for the finals. So obviously, if we jump into events in a couple hours, in less than 4 hours or so, or in about 3 hours and 22 minutes to be exact, and well, actually 3 hours 21 minutes and 58 seconds, the Delta S4 Rally finals will begin. If you don't know what the Delta S4 Rally is, then I would be a bit concerned if you haven't seen any news about it recently on Top Drives. But if we go into all cars real quick, it is indeed a Lancia, and I will be pretty interested to see if CMG is going to compete for this one, because he is the Lancia guy. But yeah, the Lancia Delta S4 Rally, and my god, what a good car this is going to be for clubs. That's literally everything I think about now. Clubs. It's a great car. 4-wheel drive, off-road tires. I think it's medium ground clearance, right? Really good handling at 87. You know, that's really good 0 to 60. That is Dodge Demon 0 to 60. Obviously, the only weak thing about the Delta S4 Rally is that it has a really low top speed of 140. But let's be honest, when you compare it to its competition, this one is a 55, and this one is 152. So yeah, it is slower, but it's not that bad. And obviously 2.30 to 60 and really good handling. It's a really good price car to get. So the question is now, what cars do you need to win the Delta S4 Rally? So obviously the pack is not out yet, but obviously this is going to be a what can you get from that pack from the German Convertibles carbon fiber. So with that said, let's get into it. I'm going to run you through all the statistics, and I'll also bring back Blossom Choice cars. And if you don't know, Blossom Choice cars are basically cars that I would definitely recommend you to keep and to max out. So with that said, let's get into the cars. Alright guys, and here we go. Starting us off is indeed the staple of basically almost every German pack. It might be a staple of every German pack that includes a BMW, and that is an RQ19 BMW, or in these days, RQ50 BMW. The BMW 650i convertible is the car that starts us off today, and it's going to be leading the line of 17 Ultras that you can get from this pack, from the German Convertibles carbon fiber. 17 Ultras, and obviously 8 of them are 57, RQ57 and below, and 9 of them are RQ58 and above. Obviously now there isn't RQ19, 20, 21, 22, so I can't count them individually anymore. But basically, you know, 57 is kind of the middle, right? Because Ultras go from RQ50 to 64. So basically what I'm saying here is there are 8 Ultras which are lower tier or lower end Ultras in terms of RQ, and then there are 9 Ultras that are higher tier Ultras. Once again, that is just, you know, base of the RQ that they have. It doesn't mean that since, you know, it doesn't mean that if a car is RQ54, which is, you know, a lower tier Ultra, means it's a bad car. There's no correlation whatsoever. You know, maybe a little bit, but you know what? I passed statistics a long time ago. I don't know what makes it a correlation and not, and what makes an outlier an outlier. Oh god, lower bound. Was upper bound even a thing? Z score? Statistics. But yeah, starting us off is the BMW 650i convertible. Moving on is the BMW H2R, one of the few rare cars that has the eco-friendly tag. Now, I will only mention the Blossom Choice cars when we get to them. So if I don't mention them, you could probably tell that I will fuse them, or I think they're just average. A lot of the cars in this pack is kind of just average, right? They're not game changers. They're not particularly crap, but just average. So yeah, moving on is the BMW 135i convertible. I mean, that's bad. Don't. The epic version is really bad as well. Next is the Porsche 911 Carrera 2 Targa. I feel like a lot of you guys might have this because of the whole silver screen thing. Whether you open the carbons or you got a little lucky in your silver screen premiums from the events that were free, I feel like a lot of people might have the Porsche 911 Carrera 2 Targa. I think I have one still as well. I haven't fused it yet. Moving on is the Maybach 62 Long Delay. This is not a Blossom Choice car, but I have to say that this car does get the job done where you need it to get the job done. It's a decent car. You know, I wouldn't say it's like a game changer. Obviously, it's not on the level of Colorado ZR2, but this car is more good than bad, but not good enough to achieve the Blossom score tag. I actually did recently just max this out, but that is, I've maxed it out after fusing about 3 or 4 of the ones of the same car I've gotten in the past. Basically, this car has a niche: drag, standard. That's it. So if there's an event where it's standard tires only, and there's a drag, then you would like to use the 62. So, in reality, it's more of a club car than anything, because only in clubs will you see events on, I guess, a regular basis where it's standard tire times 5. Because even though if it was like a rain drag and like you could use performance tire cars or 4-wheel drive cars, I'd rather use the 4-wheel drive car like a Bugatti Veyron or a Chiron. So really it's down to like if it's standard tire cars only and if there's a drag, the 62 Landaulet will be a good car to have. But obviously if you have the Cadillac 16, then this car is kind of useless. Anyway, moving on is the BMW M3. That is just it's a horrible car in the game. Also the AMG SLK 32, nothing good to say about this, and the AMG SL 73. This car is like okay, right? I had it when it was RQ20. I mean, I still have it, and I have it 996. At 996 it hits 3.6 0 to 60. That's not bad, right? The MRA is quite weak though, so there's not much backing up that 3.6 0 to 60. Once again, it's an average car. It's not great, it's not horrible. Moving on is the Porsche Boxster, which is about the same. This is the opposite of the SL73 because this car has the MRA, but it doesn't have the 0 to 60. The SL73 has the 0 to 60, but doesn't have the MRA. It's just average, really. If I were you, I'd fuse them anyway. Porsche 911 Carrera Cabriolet follows next, as well as the BMW Z8, which some of you might have as well because of silver screen. Moving on is the BMW 650i convertible. This car is actually okay. It hits about 3.7 0 to 60, 89 handling at at 323 or 969. I have it at 969. I really should have 699'd it. It's not a bad car, once again. It's just average because the M6 is just better in every way, and we'll get to that in a bit. Moving on is the Roof 3400S. Really good handling on this car, but that's about it. And preceding this will be the Mercedes AMG SLC 43. Following by that, it's the Porsche Boxster Spider, and this car is actually going to be my first Blossom choice car. There are only 2 Blossom choice ultra rares here. The first one is the Porsche Boxster Spider, 2009. It's a decent 2000s car. It's a good 2000s German car. It used to be epic, which speaks for itself, and like I always say, if it used to be one of the worst epics and it went down to ultra, chances are it's now one of the better ultras or even the best. This is a good car. Out of all the ultra Porsches, this is one of the best ones for the twisties. When it comes to the faster stuff, you want the 968 turbo. I think it's the 968 turbo, the yellow one. Anyway, this is a Blossom choice car. Moving on is the Porsche 718 Boxster, which is just a little worse, right? It's 4985 and this is 4784. So this car is one handling less, but 0.2 seconds faster to 60. Moving on is the BMW M6 convertible. Now this is obviously a Blossom choice car. This is a key car, really. Good 0 to 60, good handling. The top speed is pretty low, I guess, because it's limited, being the German car that it is. But it has an amazing MRA of 90. This is a great car. So honestly, only 2 ultras get the Blossom choice. It's the M6 as well as the Porsche. So if you do get this or the Porsche from the pack, I would be happy. And if you did get the Landaulet or if you got the Roof, I would be okay with that. They're not bad cars, they're just not the best. But the M6 is definitely the best thing you can ask for in terms of an ultra rare from this pack. Anyway, moving on to epics now. There are 15 epics you can get from the German convertibles pack. 8 of them are RQ72 and below, and 7 of them are RQ73 and above, which means 7 are higher tier epics and 8 are lower tier epics, and there are 3 Blossom choice cars in this selection. We start us off with the Mercedes-Benz SL500, nothing too special here, along with the M240i convertible. Horrible stats on this. 4780. 4780. I'm pretty sure the Roof BTR has way better stats. There are a lot of ultra rares that have much better stats in this car. The only reason why it's an epic is because it is medium. And that is why. But once again, it's still going to be useless because if medium cars are needed in this event, then you want to gun for the RS6 convertible and not the M240i, because in every way, shape, and form, that RS6 will be better than the M240i. Don't get me wrong though, that RS6 convertible, which we'll see in a bit, is still a really bad car. It's just that it's the best car for this situation if there was a medium or small city streets in the final to come. So moving on is the Mercedes AMG CLK DTM, nothing too special to say about this, along with the Porsche Boxster S, the 911 Carrera S Cabriolet, the Boxster GTS, the 911 Targa 4S, the 718 Boxster S, and the Boxster Spider. God, that was underwhelming. That was very, very underwhelming. All those cars, nothing special to say about that. If I got any of them, I wouldn't really be happy. It would, I guess I would be happy because it's an epic from a carbon, right? But it's gonna be Fuse. The Boxster Spider, it has a little bit of a saving grace to it because the handling is decent and the MRA is very strong on this car. I think it's in the 90s as well. I'm not sure if it's mid 90s or even high 90s, but the MRA on this car is good, but the 0 to 60 once again is weak for an RQ74 car. Now, moving on is the Roof 3800S, the first Blossom Choice Epic. 3.9 0 to 60, 87 handling. It's better than the 4.3 and 86 the Boxster Spider has to offer. Now, the MRA on the 3800 is a little weaker than the Boxster Spider. However, it's not weak enough to determine or to fill the gap, which is the 0 to 60 difference of 4.3 and 3.9. That's almost half a second. And in the car world, that's a massive difference, right? 87 handling as well, which makes it one of the best handling roofs, and it is the best handling roof epic. There's no other roof epic that hits 87 handling. So, this car definitely has its niches. It's a car that I, used to not like because it used to be RQ26, and I felt like it was really overrated for an RQ26 car, but I feel like it fits well in the RQ25 range and definitely okay in the 76 range. It's no 79, it's no 78, it's no 77. I would say it's a 76 or 75 car. So the rating on this car is really good. And with that said, when I think it all fits well together, it leads to being a Blossom Choice car. So yeah, it's a decent car to have. Moving on is the Volkswagen W12 Roadster. This is also a Blossom Choice car. Very impressive 0 to 60, very strong handling. I think the MRA on this car is pretty non-existent, but it's a great twisty car. And if you think about it, 3686 to 3987, yeah, it has one handling less, but that 0.3 second difference is going to play a huge part in the twisties. This would be a great twisty car to have for the final. Moving on is the BMW i8 Roadster. Nothing much to say about this. The four-wheel drive is very enticing though, considering this is only rear-wheel drive. So I guess if there's like twisty wet, you would want to go for the i8, and if it's twisty dry, you would want to go for the W12. But once again, what takes the cake here, what takes the Blossom choice is indeed the Roadster and not the i8. Moving on is the Porsche 911 Targa 4S. I don't know much about this car. The 0 to 60 is once again pretty weak, but it does have that four-wheel drive capability, and I think the MRA is decent. It has to be if it's in the RQ79 club. But yeah, I don't know much about this car. The handling is strong though. And finally, it's the Mercedes AMG SLS Roadster, which is the last epic that is going to achieve the Blossom Choice tag. I want this car. I want this car so much. We were talking earlier about the Boxster being epic and it went down to Ultra. This used to be legendary. So it went from being one of the weakest legendaries to one of the best epics. And I mean, that is true. That is a very true statement. This is a very, very, very good car. Very, very strong MRA. I think it's a 92 or 95, which is basically Hellcat MRA, right? And it has Hellcat 0 to 60, and it has 86 handling, which is, better than a Hellcat handle. Better than what a Hellcat can handle. Is better than a wide body, better than a normal Hellcat, and better than a Charger Hellcat as well. It's a really great car, this. Really, really good. Very hard to find any faults in it. The AMG SLS Roadster is definitely one to keep, one to max, one to have multiple of, and really, one to have multiple maxed. But with that said, the last one is the Audi RS5 Cabriolet. I am so sorry, I've been calling it the RS6 Cabriolet all along. It's actually the RS5 Cabriolet. Once again, I hate this car. I don't like it. It's really bad. I've had it before. I've had it twice and I've used it twice. I don't like it. The only thing that would make this car useful is once again, like I said, if the finals has city streets, then this car will be useful. If it has city streets, then this car will be useful. If not, it's so weak. It's, you know, it's not as strong as the other medium Audis, you know, the RS3 and the S8. And once again, you know, if it was medium cars that were not German convertibles, it would also fall behind. It's really just as niche as it's as niche as it can get. It will only shine, and almost all the stars are aligning now for this one. It will only shine if it's a German convertible event that has medium ground clearance. Right now we have the German convertibles, now we just need the medium ground clearance. If we have the medium ground clearance, then boom, all the stars are aligned. We'll finally have a use for the RS5. But that's it, you know, after this event. And that's saying if it has medium, after this event, it'll be useless again. It's not a good car. Anyway, moving on to legendaries now. There are 4 legendaries you can get from this pack. One of them is a Blossom choice. The first one is the BMW M850i X-Drive convertible. This one's gonna, you know, grind some gears a bit because it used to be epic, and, you know, some people might already have it max. So you're probably going into a final where you're gonna see a lot of this car maxed in the top hands. And, you know, that's really something you can't really escape, I guess. I mean, what is Hutch gonna do? Just cut it out? I mean, like, you know, just exempt it from the final. They're not gonna do that. So yeah, this is one that a lot of people are gonna see max in the finals for sure. But with that said, still, you know, it's not the strongest convertible you can get. You can rather get the R8 Spider V10, which is, you know, obviously not that strong as well. It was, you know, useful in the silver screen event, but it's nice to see that it might get some use again in this event. But also the Porsche 911 Targa, and finally the car that gets the Blossom choice is the Roof Turbo Florio. It's a great car. It's a great roof, one of the best roofs in the game. 4-wheel drive, great handling, 87 and a low 0 to 60 of 3 seconds, and a top speed of 205. I think once again, much like all the other roofs in the game, this has had its MRA nerfed, but I don't think it's too bad, or maybe it's one of the few roofs that did not get its MRA nerfed. But with that said, this is the last car you can get. This is the best car you can get, and this is the car that you want to aim for if you choose to open the pack. But that's the question we're going to answer, if you should open this pack. So let's get back into my Top Drives account. Okay, so here we are back in business, right? Back in the Top Drive section of things. Obviously we don't have the pack to look at yet, so we'll just look at this one because this one's also German. It has the same thumbnail. It genuinely has the same thumbnail. I might even open one of this. This pack doesn't even look that bad. But yeah, basically, should you open this pack? No. Bad. It's a bad pack. The chances of getting the chances of you getting something you don't like, and the chances of getting something that is not going to help you in the final is way higher than the chances of something that's going to help you, or the chances of something you're going to like. The only reason that I could see you that I could say you should open this pack, the only reason that would lead me to say that you should open this pack is if you really want the Lancia. That's it. If that Lancia is your dream car, right? And, you know, this is kind of just me talking to CMG now, because I know you want your off-road Lancia. So, you know, are you willing to open these packs and get these mediocre cars to try and win the Lancia? That's really the question you gotta answer here. So am I gonna open one? Absolutely not. I'm not going to compete in the S4. Like I said in my 4 million pack opening, I'm gonna take a break from the Tri-Series. I know I won the Corvette recently, but that was because, you know, the stars kind of aligned for me, right? I just had the Cadillacs. But, you know, once again, I'm not going to break the bank for this S4. It's a great prize car, but once again, I have no sentimental value for this car, and that kinda is it for me. Obviously I don't have the hand required, so I'm not gonna open it. Should you open it? Once again, like I said, only if you want the Lancia, or if you're a huge fan of the RS5 Cabriolet, or any of the particular cars in there. But really, I would not recommend it. Just save your money for something else. But with that said, we're gonna end the video of the German 2015 to 2019 carbon fiber, because why not? This thing has been staring at me, and, you know, I know I can get a GT2 RS from this. So let's go. Let's end the video with a bang, with the German 2015 and 2019 carbon. Let's see what we get from this. If it's an ultra, it's an ultra. Why not? And all right, Z4. Oh, I missed my click. There we go. And hey, I'll take that. That's a good one. Finally, I'll have 2 of those now. 2 of those max. Great car for clubs. I'm actually kind of happy I opened that. It's kind of like if I randomly opened a Chevrolet carbon fiber and got a ZR2 Colorado. That's how good the TCR is, actually. I kind of rank it that high. But that said, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate your support. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Blossom out.